Chapter 5. What's your name, Jack? Is this the party to whom I am speaking? Ernestine, the telephone operator. Lily Tomlin on NBC's Laugh-In. What's your name, Jack? If you don't know Jack. So far, we've called the prospect Jack, a fictitious name. When you're prospecting for real, you're going to need a strategy to get the prospect's name that isn't too forward. This chapter describes some strategies to do just that. You need to know Jack. At some point, before the conversation is over, you're going to have to get Jack's name. There are several reasons that knowing his name is important. 1. Who you gonna call? Follow-up calls can be a bit awkward when you don't know the name of the person you are calling. What will you say when someone answers? It's much less confusing to ask, "Is this Jack?" 2. It's music to their ears. People love to hear their names. Speaking their name is one way to relate to them. It is one component of good people skills. The key is to use their name without overdoing it. When you use their name as part of every other sentence, it sounds insincere and manipulative. Typically, I will use the prospect's name 1 or 2 times. 3. It fosters familiarity. Another reason to use the prospect's name is to begin fostering familiarity. The people who know Jack call him Jack. If you call him Jack, you must know him too, right? Of course, you're not fooling anyone. You and Jack just met and both of you know it. It's not about misrepresentation. It's about positioning. You are positioning yourself as someone Jack knows and trusts. Getting his name. One way to get Jack's name is to come right out and ask him. This strategy, however, is flawed if you ask a prospect for his name without first sharing yours. He may perceive you as a threat. He may start asking himself, or you, questions like, "What are you going to trying to sell me?" or "I don't know you." Why do you need to know my name? You need to earn the right to ask his name. You want it to be natural for him to share his name. Jack should feel comfortable telling you his name. Start out with a peace offering like your own name or friendly small talk. When you apply the principles of prospecting, Jack will be more than willing to share information, including his name. Here are several points in the conversation that make natural times to ask for the prospect's name. 1. After he answers the magic question. One way to get the prospect's name is to introduce yourself immediately after he answers the magic question. Ordinarily, Jack will reciprocate by introducing himself in return. Example. You know this is coming out of left field, but let me ask you a question. Are you open to exploring outside opportunities? Prospect, sure. You, by the way, my name is Russ McNeil. As you say it, extend your hand to initiate a handshake. Prospect, I'm Jack. You, as I said, I know we don't know each other, but if I loaned you a DVD for a couple of days, would you at least take a look? In this example, you initiate the name exchange immediately after he responds to your magic question. Here's the skinny, raw phrase, by the way, my name is Russ McNeil. Outline, by the way, 1, my name is Russ 2 Russ McNeil. Point 3, as you say it, extend your hand to initiate a handshake. 4. Notes 1. A transition phrase. 2. Demonstrate goodwill by offering your name first. Use the first name only. This makes the exchange more personal. Moreover, it's easier for him to remember a single name. 3. Repeat with your full name. This reinforces his memory of your first name and insinuates that he should offer his full name. 4. Never underestimate the power of a touch, it draws the prospect further into the overall encounter. It's alright if he doesn't tell you his last name, but he's going to feel awkward if he doesn't at least state his first name. Occasionally, the prospect won't offer his name at all. The handshake is your backup plan. If he hasn't offered his name before the handshake, say this during the handshake: "What's your name?" Use a tone of voice that says, "I know you told me, but I didn't understand." Smile as you ask. It is extraordinarily difficult for a prospect to resist offering his name in this scenario. 2. As you get phone number. Another strategy is to wait and get the prospect's name as part of his contact information after you hand him a prospecting tool. See Chapter 16, I've Got Your Number. Now for a thorough description of this strategy. 3. Randomly within a longer conversation. This book is about situational prospecting, short conversations that establish interest, or lack thereof, quickly. Occasionally, you'll have the luxury of a longer, more relaxed conversation. In these situations, you can use the underdog approach to get the prospect's name. Example: you've been engaged in a pleasant conversation for several minutes. By the way, I guess I owe you an apology. Prospect: what for? Here we are in the middle of a conversation, and I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Russ McNeil. This is an example of an underdog approach. By apologizing, you are assuming a position of transparency and vulnerability. The underdog approaches endear the prospect to you. This scenario works about 100% of the time. The downside is that most prospecting conversations aren't long enough to employ it. That's all for this chapter of the book. The next chapter is Chapter 6. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos. If you would like some specific audio videos on a specific ebook, please drop the name of the book in the comments section, and I will make effort to produce them as time allows. Best regards and see you at the top.